So welcome to the Motor Trade Mentors podcast. Today, Joe, he's not with us today. He's in London, schmoozing or something. So it's just me, David Gott from the lovely car company. We've got James Alford from Platinum Car Centre in Plymouth. And today we've got Marianai Robinson from MSH Cars UK. So yeah, welcome. Are you all right, Marianai?
Yes, thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, nice to
Nice
meet
to be
you.
here.
Yeah, are you excited to be on?
Yes, excited to be on asking a few questions. Yes.
Good. Well, so just to get straight into it, Marianai, what is your business? Sum it up for us.
Wow, I look more for sustainability. So I look to sell all the cars for the budget-friendly local people, like first-time drivers or little families. So I buy cars below £5,000. That's my main, just to save them from going to salvage. Because I believe they have a lot of life. So I try to buy cars, lower mileage, not too many owners. Good cars, I get my mechanics to check everything. I make sure they are roadworthy, and then I sell them. I have been quite busy, and I'm pretty new. I just started like 6 months ago by accident. I think fulfilling a dream from my childhood because I always loved cars. And after I sold one of mine, I decided I got the bus for that and I want to do it more. So I started selling cars here in Norfolk. I'm based in Tetford in Walton, and I just opened my office in Hingham so I can get customers to come in this freezing cold outside, have some place for them to come and get the insurance sorted before they can drive away.
That's great. So what? So am I getting the gist that you're selling like cars that have been written off then?
Not written off at all. No, I'm buying mainly at the moment from BCA auction. I resisted for G3 as well, but I haven't got that yet because I'm pretty busy. I have a full-time job and I have another business and I'm running my car business, which is my passion at the moment. So super busy. I just decided to start with BCA for now. So I look for the cars that are up for sale, not reaching off. I read all the MOT histories. I look if they have a service history, so I can learn a bit more about it. And I get my mechanics to check before I sell them. I don't buy any salvage cars and reaching off and category D, N, or S. I don't buy any of these. It's just good cars.
How many are you holding at the moment?
I just bought quite a lot now in December. So at the moment I have about 8 and 2 that I kept for myself because I love them. And it's difficult, the logistics, to pack them at home because I'm still like a sole trader kind of thing, selling from home. My business registered in my home address. I'm trying to find somewhere I can store and park my cars. It's really hard around here.
Yeah.
I tried to get my husband to go out and talk to farmers and see if he can have a better luck. Because I find sometimes when I go on and I talk to people and I'm just a woman in a men world, I find difficult to get the deals done. So I get Jeff to go and try to help me out. See if we find anything around, but like industrial units, I try to find, and it's really hard because when I say like I sell cars, I just want a place to park my cars. They turn their head, oh no cars, sorry. So I'm struggling a bit with space, but I found a storage in Chiphunt, so I have to drive all the way to Chiphunt to collect a car when someone comes and have a look. Drive to my home, then I sell them and they go and there you go, I buy another one. So at the moment I have 8. I would like to have more, but it's just juggling with the spaces to park them.
Well, that's amazing that you've got 8 in such a short space of time. That's really good. But I think, like me and James and Joe have mentioned this before, it's so difficult getting somewhere to put your cars, somewhere to store them. And we were on about this other week. I think you've just got to look outside the box and maybe find some storage at a farm or something, or not your typical place, because like we say, don't we, James, they just look down on us, and they don't want to rent us the space.
I'm sorry, but I've got some thoughts early doors about this, so I'm gonna stab you early if you're all right. So I think obviously there's a selection of assets that you're going to have that maybe us as gentlemen may not have. I think maybe sending out your husband to go and try and get you a commercial premises is probably a poor idea. I think you're far more likely as a female going, I'm going to be a motor trader. You're far more appealing as a tenant to a commercial property developer as a female motor trader. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of grief for this, but I'm going to be honest with you, and it's going to be great. We're going to have loads of fun doing it. So yeah, I think you should probably give it a go, maybe as yourself, maybe look outside the box. If you see a space, don't be afraid to bang on somebody's door and go, look, is this for rent? If not, would you consider renting it? I've got money, I'm clean and tidy, I've got a passion for what I'm doing. Why wouldn't you have me in there? That's the question you need to ask them. Why wouldn't you have me? Not, can I? So I think that's probably where you want to go from that side of it. It sounds like you are really passionate about it. So, that's tick. So the commercial side of it and finding somewhere, I think you should probably bang down that door on your own, because I think you can do it. I can see it in your face that you're probably keen as mustard, and you probably don't need the help. So probably want to write that off the list immediately, that you can probably do it on your Todd.
Yeah, I would try.
Yeah, change what you're telling yourself in your brain. Oh, my husband, he needs to go. That is the best advice James can give you. You are your biggest asset.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember all the time when this cloud come over my head, and I think, is that difficult, or not? Just because I'm female. And then I remember I went to see my doctors the other day, and he asked, what you doing? And I'm really busy. I just start selling cars. And he said, you know what? I think you do very well. Because I think people you trust, you as a woman, you get the car fixed and all good, and you get good business. I have a garage here, which is just women doing the service in the car. It's amazing. So I try to remember these good, positive things. So thank you, James, for that. Thank you, Dave.
So whereabouts in Thetford are you? So because obviously I've got some really fond memories of Thetford. I race, I think, just up the road at Snetterton. Is that right? Because Thetford Forest is a really beautiful area. But what I will say about Thetford is it's very spaced out. You've got a lot of space there, and there are a lot of industrial units that aren't advertised anywhere. So it might be a case of, and obviously I'm not an expert, I don't live there, and it's actually 7.5 hour drive from me, but I do go there, and I always go, oh my God, that'd be a great car dealership, great car dealership, great car dealership. So I think it might be a case of you just going around and knocking on some doors, just putting out your face and saying, this is me, this is what I do, can I come and do it under your roof? I'll pay you well, I'll pay you on time, and if anything, it'll uplift your business at the same time, or any other tenants you've got. Because I believe that we do that. We make places nicer than what they are, and we also bring through traffic to places, because our advertising is so much broader than a lot of the places that, like the small commercial units. Our advertising is so much, well, like we advertise to, you could have a car now. I think I'm just looking on your website now. I'm pretty confident somebody would travel at least 300-400 miles for that, and you've brought somebody to you that isn't that far away, and that's a benefit for everyone around you. So yeah, I think that that might be a new mindset for the day.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that. Don't you, James? If you go out and you knock on doors, it's always the best way to get, to get a premise, to get a job, to get anything. If you just wait for something to come up, it's never going to happen. It just doesn't happen, does it?
No, and they'll shut the door. Like, you pick the phone up, they'll shut the door on you. They're like, I don't want motor trade, I'm not interested. You walk into somebody and you introduce yourself to someone, it's very, very difficult to say no, especially if you're not a weirdo. So it's true though, isn't it? It's very
powerful. It's very powerful, because when someone I bought a car the other month, and they said about, I'd never dare just walk in somewhere and ask for a job. I always, apply online. And I said to them, look, I do not want a million CVs sending to me. I want someone to walk in here and just promote themselves and sell themselves to me. And all the people that work for me have done that. And they've all stayed with me for like Wayne's been with me for 10 years. I'm trying to think who else I've had. I mean, I've been through a few salesmen, but they have stayed for a good length of time. That's going to be your weight in gold. I'm sure as soon as you walk in and you introduce yourself, within the first minute, they think, oh, this lady, she knows what she's on about. She seems really nice. Oh, I'll give her a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a go. I'll try. And hopefully I'll have more time because I'm quitting my job to go the heads on that. So I will not give up. I'm very resilient. I never give up. So
At the moment, obviously, I'm on your website, which is MSHCarsUK.com, and it's a Squarespace website. I'm sure the Fandangly video guys can kung fu this one up. So I've got 2 little Clios that are sold on there. We've got a 2001 Golf, which actually looks very clean, and I strangely love that colour. And we've got a Kia Ceed incoming and a Nissan Qashqai Tecna Black 2008 incoming. So is that what we've got at the moment?
the website I started building, I haven't finished, but I sold them all. It's all sold.
They're all
I got
sold?
new stock. Yeah.
So you've got nothing advertised at the moment?
I have
Have you
two. I have 2 cars ready, which are on Auto Trader. I need to upload to my website. There's another Clio, very clean as well, just 2 late owners, low mileage, and I have a Golf Plus.
Nice. We love a Golf Plus.
Yeah, it's nice, a diesel, but that one is for holding for a little while. I don't know why. I'm just because I'm starting, I'm trying all the brands, makes to see which here will sell quick. But I already sold 4 Clios, so I sold for people of all ages and walks. I can see my public here, the customers. It's not specific elderly or families or youngsters. They can drive license because I have sold about 10 cars so far, and they all gone to different people.
Yeah, because it's quite you've got busy demographic there, so you've not got like a conglomeration of a certain style of people there, so you've pretty much open to everyone. I noticed at the beginning you said that you bought a couple of cars and kept a couple of cars yourself. What were those?
A Mini.
A Mini? And what else?
A Mini was the first one. I went to pick it up in Scotland, and the other one is an Insignia.
Lovely.
It's just to do my daily drive and run because it's very comfortable on the road, traveling long distance and very economical. So
okay, well, I'm going to share something with you, and we now have something in common. Okay, I did exactly the same thing when I first started up, and funnily enough, mine also was an Insignia. This is really weird. This is quite reminiscent to go back towards this. I had a 03 plate, gunmetal grey, design edition, manual 1.8 petrol. Okay, and it was 2003, and I remember sitting in it, and there's a lot of cars out there now that I sit in, and I understand why people buy them. And that was a moment when I decided that I was going to sell cars that I would potentially buy myself. So I started buying stuff that I liked and I believed in, and I always found those cars loads easier to sell at the beginning, even when times were tough, because I really liked them myself and I thought they were nice cars. So maybe that's something that you can look into for yourself. So if if you've bought a Mini and you love it, buy another one, and somebody else comes along and they see, especially when you're small, and they see you out there and you've driven a Mini to work and they're buying one off you. It's so much easier to explain that, well, I've got a Mini, I love it, why wouldn't you buy it? And that is really, really simple. And people there's an automatic bond that you've created out of nowhere. And that's something that I went through at the very beginning, and I loved it, and it would really excite me. I'd be like, oh my God, I just sold a woman a Mini. I was driving the same car. For me, it was like an Insignia. I loved it. It it's not the ultimate, sort of mix up, etc. But I would recommend, if you are struggling to buy stuff, maybe just buy stuff that you like, because it's so much easier to sell stuff when you like it yourself.
You get to know the problems as well with them. So then it's easier to fix. So when something springs up and you know the car, like with a Mini, you're going to know if the chain's going to, oh, it's the chain. Oh, well, I know exactly how much it's going to cost to fix the chain. Or, oh, the wing mirror switches. Oh, that's quite common. And people love it when you say, like James is saying here, which is fantastic advice. People love it when you say, oh, God, I love Minis. I've been driving this Mini for 6 months, and it just creates that confidence. And then, don't you find though, James, when you're selling stuff that you like, that you've got, not that you like, but you've got a passion about it, it just comes across to the customer so much better.
People feel it. Dogs is even worse. If you meet somebody that you've never met before in your life, and they got the same dog as you think, do you know what, that's the same person as me. He's got all the same life choices. What a great guy. They've got the same dog as me. Absolute genius. And like you're immediately friends. Like there's nothing you can do about it. It's like when a 2-year-old hands you a toy phone, you answer it. It's exactly the same. So yeah, I believe that. Obviously, you can do whatever you want to do, but that's the advice I would do if you are A, struggling for stock, or B, just unsure about yourself. Like, you've got to have self-belief in this situation. And if you start selling cars that you like and you enjoy selling, I guarantee you it will be more successful for you. Like, there will be a point in your life where you've got to buy cars that you don't like or you don't have that much interest in, but now is not that time. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Because I made that mistake, James, when I first started. I thought, all right, I'm going to sell some vans because they've got big margins in them. And I hate vans. They're all white. They all look the same on the pitch. They were battered as well. And even if you did get them half decent, I had no love for them. And I didn't sell it. Like where James here, he can sell vans all day long. You must love vans.
Vans have got it's a different... So vans have got a different relationship, and I developed my van relationship much later in my motor trader career. So I never had any passion for vans until I had children or started doing stuff related to children, because I saw a van as an opportunity for mischief. All right. So if you see something on Facebook Marketplace that's massive, or an IKEA trip, you're like, oh, I've got a van. I can do whatever I want to do. And the amount of terrible things that I've bought when I've been in the ownership of a van, that's what gave me the initial love for it. Or like, put another row of seats in a van, chuck everyone in it, go away for the day. You can get the kids changed in the back, all of those sort of things. That's how I fell in love with the vans initially. And I'm not really a tradesperson. I've worked in the trade many moons ago and sat in the passenger seat of someone's van, still had no love for it. Until I realised that it was an opportunity for mischief, I was all over it like a tramp on chips.
So then, did you find you could speak to customers on their level then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Christ. And then, like I said, you spend a bit of time in something, you figure out what all their quirky little features are, and there's a lot of vans out there that have got quite nice features for the drivers. The driver's position's obviously one of them. And like where they put the chargers and stuff, they know these guys are spending 8, 9, 10 hours a day in it, so they try and make it a nice place for them.
Yeah. But
I get it. At the very beginning of my journey, fuck the vans, they're horrible.
Yeah.
But now I'm in love with them. So, it's, again, like you said, start with what you know, understand, you've got the confidence in, and that's probably going to be the safest journey for you initially, until you get to a point where you go, do you know what? I'm ready to put a little bit of money on red or black.
Build your confidence up. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Can we talk about the website?
This looks as well like a pretty basic website. First thing I'm thinking, James, like the pictures can be improved a little bit, would you say?
I'm going to go hard, strong and early, if you're ready for this one.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, please.
It's fucking horrible.
That was me trying to be nice. Yeah, the pictures are terrible.
I think this young lady appreciates our information, and I think it's fair. Like, it is a shit website. It's made with Squarespace. The pictures are too big. I've checked it out on my phone, and it comes up awful on my phone. and a lot of people spend most of their time on their phone anyway. I really like the little picture of you in the corner. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't like. I think some people may like or dislike that, but I think it's cool. So if that's something you can factor in later, don't be afraid to keep that, because that's a nice little touch. But I think you need either a Car Dealer 5 website or a 67 Degrees website. They're the most reasonable to get started, you know, and they'll help you with they'll get you onto Google and that sort of jazz. Because at the moment, we can't find you on a Google search engine.
Yeah, it didn't come up.
You had to physically give us the details. So that means that all your SEO and Google bits are out of the question. So that would be, I would make a conversation to either of those two to get going on a website, whichever one works for you financially to get started. But that would need to be your first investment, and also as well that allows you to stream cars directly out to other platforms that you ever decide to go with as well.
Yeah.
So that would be my first port of call.
You know, you're saying as well, Marianai, that you've got 8 cars, but there's only 2 advertised on here.
The ones in here all sold because their website hasn't been updated. Like, I really need to get it done, so maybe I get professional done.
It's easy though, like James said, if you ring Car Dealer 5, once you get that website up, you can upload the pictures on your phone and it looks professional. It'll just make your life so much easier. I bet you're wasting far too much time on this website. This will be sucking all the life out of you. Yeah, so first thing,
what Dave says, like you just need to sign up with somebody that does motor dealer websites. They'll take over the show for you. They'll make everything a lot easier, and your job will literally be very small advert, bang the photos on, and it'll be everywhere where you need it to be immediately. And I know you said that you're giving it up and you're juggling lots of things at the moment. Save yourself 10 hours a week, done. And also as well, you're going to give yourself more opportunities. So like you said, you've got 8 cars at the moment. You've got nothing on your website. And I'm not like a motor trade snob, but there'll be a lot of people out there that if you haven't got a website that they can see, they won't buy off you, regardless of who you are or how well you come across. If they can't find your website, people just won't turn up.
Yeah.
And how have you sold the cars previous?
It's all on Auto Trader. I sold a couple on Facebook, but I'm so scared of Facebook because every time I post a car, I get loads of scammers coming on. And I'm so scared that you do something or just be nasty, and I just block them. I just wait for the right person to come, really. But mainly sales are an Auto Trader, but I'm not on Auto Trader package or anything. I can't see any metrics or any analytics, nothing like that yet.
In this price range, you don't need to see the analytics. You don't need to see all that stuff. Everybody wants a car under £5,000. So they sell quick. As long as it's prepped right, it's nice, it's got a long MOT, you'll be fine. But I'd like to ask James about this. So Facebook, you're the man with Facebook. What should she not be scared to use Facebook? How do you filter out all the lunatics?
Okay, so I've got your Facebook up in front of me. If I looked at that, I would say that you look like a scammer. Don't take this the wrong way, but that looks like a scammer because you've got a picture of an American convertible on there. And that would fill me full of dread. I'd be like, oh my God, that does not look okay. And it's not a business page either. So you're going to need to convert that onto a business page to pick out what you want to do. And you probably want to change it to either She Sells Cars as a business or mhcarsuk.com as your actual website, and you need to link everything together. So anything you do, Facebook, Instagram, Google, you need to link it all together. Google's now got a facility on there where you can link in all your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram stuff when you create a business. Because at the moment you haven't created a business on Google either.
Yeah.
Which is when people type in your details to try and get your address, they can't get it. That is another possible stumbling point. So that's something you would definitely need to do without a shadow of doubt. I know this is a lot of information, but they are really important baby steps that you need to get past to start getting any traction. So otherwise, I think you might end up just being in a position where you've got 8-9 cars forever, unless you jump on these little stepping stones. That's what I would suggest. The cars are not the issue in this situation. They seem fine. You know, there's not. You know, I'm sure there's there's always a bum for a seat. You know, from your demographic, but definitely got to sort the website out. Google Analytics, Auto Trader single adverts are good. You know, I've said my piece on this before. I think they're a really good starting block. And then once you've got 5 to 10 cars, look at other packages out there that are available for you, and you do what you feel comfortable. Like, there's a lot of advice from us all over the internet. You can pick and choose whatever you like from what we've offered, because we're not encouraged to sell any of them or advise you on any of them. You pick what you think works for you. It is all a gamble, you know. Like, there's no guarantee for it. It is a gamble. So what works for you financially is what you should pick. But at least get as much advertising out there as possible. Like, Facebook's a very useful tool, but you need to, when you do a Facebook advert, you always need to link it to your website. So when you put a car up there, you need to link it to your website. It's basically a giant merry-go-round that links up with other stuff. And that's...
You know, when you get on Car Dealer 5, can't you do auto social or something, and then they'll link that to Facebook? Is that a good package to use?
I used to be a Car Dealer 5 customer. I'm now 67 Degrees. I'm really into the Google Analytics side of stuff. So that's why I moved over there, just because I felt that was more functional for me. But obviously I've mentioned 67 Degrees to you guys initially because they may be able to take a little bit of the pressure off you as a newbie, and you can decide where you fit in, because you don't know what's going to work for you yet. You might not be interested in the super analytical side of it. You might be interested in just getting the cars on the internet, get them off, grow for 10 years or 5 years, and then figure it out later and mess about with the tiny bits as you go along. But for me, I was with them for a while. The Auto Social was okay because it automatically posted to Facebook, but it did it in a way that I wasn't happy with because I'm a control freak.
So you do it more yourself now then, James?
Every Facebook advert I do myself individually. I select the demographic of each car as to where I want to push it. So some vehicles I will push further. So I've got a purple Mini that I've just got in. The audience for that one is going to be much wider than a 13-plate Ford Focus. So I will expand the audience that I'm sending it out to and spend a little bit more money just making sure that somebody will see that unicorn car. Like your pink Range Rover, when you advertise that on Facebook, your demographic shouldn't be within 50 miles. It should be within 500 miles. Yeah. Because it's a smaller audience, but that audience is going to fucking love it when they see it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a unicorn cover.
But those are just the little things that you can do once you start getting into the zone where you're really finitely changing the details. But yes, Car Dealer 5 with Auto Social, very helpful initially.
No, that's great. So what are you thinking, Marianai, about at the minute? Are you getting a bit of an headache from everything what's being pinged at you? How are you feeling?
No, not at all. I'm loving it. I really do. I appreciate the help and the advice. The thing is, the other question which follows is my struggle to find the mechanics. Because one of the things I really don't want is to sell a car and then within that 3 months window or so, someone turns back and say, you sold me a car in Brooks and I want my money back or this and that. So even if they are older and I try to buy a good car that have been looked after, I still want to make sure the car works properly. So, but then as I say to you, I have 8 cars at the moment. I have 2 that I managed to finish preparing. Detailing I do myself because I want to meticulously look inside and make the customer open the door and feel like, wow, looks like a new car. And the car sells because of that. The experience, the cleanness and everything. But to get to that stage, I have to get the mechanical sorted first. So I started with someone who would come pick up my cars, take back to Norwich, and then bring back. And I didn't like. Then I found another people who comes and do some of the service on my door. So I have like a driveway. They come, they change the brakes for me if I need a brake. So they do service, they do all that on the spot. But they are super busy. And then I go to local garage, which I found, but they busy as well. So it's difficult. Sometimes it's only 2 weeks to look my cars. And when I buy a car, I just want to get ready, clean, photo, video, and put up for sale. But I can't because I need to get the mechanic to look at it. And it's 2 weeks. And even if I have 2 or 3 garages, I still don't get as fast enough for me to get the car ready for sale. So that is my struggle at the moment. And maybe because of that, I haven't been so hard on the social media website and stuff because I'm selling well as it is. When I get the car done, it goes before 20 days. But it's to get the car done and ready to go. That's difficult. That is my struggle at the moment. And the prices, the amount of money I spend, and when I look, it's all self-funded. So when I look, I have 10, 15 grand sitting on these cars, waiting something else to be fixed before I can then put up for sale. So that's the other question, how to deal with, how to find that mechanics. Because I know you higher up from me now. One day I will grow up, but but for now.
This is the problem. This is, for me, I mean, I've been doing this 12 years, and this is the hardest thing about being a car. There's so many different things that are hard about being a car dealer. Honestly, you come up against so much different stuff. You get over one hurdle, and then you've got another one. But the biggest hurdle for me all the time has been mechanics. And for me, it's just building relationships up with your local mechanics. Because as well, being on your own, you don't want to be driving about an hour there, an hour back. Before you know it, the day's gone, all your energy levels are gone. For me, you've got to find somebody as close as possible. And you've got to build that relationship up with them. And I know James is going to say as well, like, don't just put all your eggs in one basket. You've got to go and find about 3 or 4 different mechanics. And it takes time. You've got to build that relationship up with the mechanics, because to be fair, if I was a mechanic and I have a trader walk in, it's sort of like, oh God, another trader. They want everything for cheap. They want it doing straight away. So you've got to be very patient. You've got to build that relationship up with them. You've got to pay the right money. I know you don't want to pay top money. You don't want to pay too cheap. You want to be in the middle. You want to find someone who's a really good rate. And then you've got to build that relationship up with them where you can say, look, I've got this car. It needs prepping within 5 days. Give them a time scale. And then once you've built the relationship up, they will do that for you. That's my take on it. You've just got to go, like with your unit, you've got to go around knocking on doors. It's exactly the same with mechanics. There'll be some mechanics that you just click with. Like my mechanic Daz, I've used him for 12 years. He's my go-to man all the time for everything. And then I've got another 3 that I can go to. You know, so that it's not easy, but that's what I think. About you, James?
I think I'd go back to the, like you said, the same door knocking. You got to go and meet these people. You know, it's not a phone conversation. You got to go and look them in the eye, and you can probably tell if they're straight or not straight. Because there's quite a few mechanics out there that are knobs, and they just want to earn a couple of quid and go to the pub on a Friday. But there are also a lot of genuinely good mechanics out there that want to do a good job and be spoken to like an adult. The problem is they deal with Joe Public 7 days a week, and their perception of motor traders is that we're all arseholes. We try and chip them down on the price. And if you get that real dirty conversation out the door early, say, right, look, I know that you don't do trade rates. I know that your rates are £60 an hour. All right, I'm going to pay you £55 an hour. It's still not great, don't get me wrong, but those days are gone. I don't think realistically you can get away with having trade rates as a trader at a garage anymore. It doesn't exist. And most people need to get past that before they'll get anywhere or any loyalty with any traders. Just say, you send me an invoice on a Thursday, I'll pay it on a Friday. I'll pay all my stuff on time, I'll look after you, and I'm a good person. And if they agree with that, that's your garage. Okay? But, there is a but. Corruption and bribery is not dead. Okay? Little creatures that live in garages, they are susceptible to corruption and bribery. So, sweets, cakes, drinks, pizza. If they're doing work for you and they're being nice to you, fucking send it to them. I shit you not. You will get a mountain of favours if you treat them as humans. Like, there's nothing, like, especially this time of year. So you've got to remember, they're sat there with the garage door open. Okay? It's 4 degrees. Their fingers are cold. The chances are whatever their missus packed them for lunch is fucking boring and they don't want to eat it. All right? You send them over some donuts or a bit of pizza or a couple of coffees or a nice thing, they won't forget you. And they're like, do you know what? She sent me that stuff. I'm going to get her car in now and I'm going to get her car on the ramp and I'm going to do that for her. What a thoughtful thing to do. If you let them know that you're thinking about them, which you are, okay, they will do nice things for you. The world is it's trading. It's no different to what we do in trading cars. If you let people know that we actually care and we're thinking about you, people will do nice things for you. And what does it cost you? 10, 15 quid to send some donuts from Deliveroo? Like, and that'll change their day. They could be having loads of personal stuff going on in their life, and somebody sends them donuts. That's the highlight of their day. And that's what we do. And I, you know, we get results from it. And like, they always, when we ring up, they're always pleased to speak to us. They're like, oh, thanks for that. Like, I appreciate you guys. Like, you know, cool. So, and when you ask for that little extra job, you're like, look, I know it's a big job, mate, but is there any chance that you could get it done before Friday so we can all get paid? And they're like, do you know what? I'll make that happen. You've always been good to me.
That's a beautiful advice, that, James.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I've done every year with me mechanic, Daz. And I think, like, for me and you, James, it's just natural as well, isn't it? To do
second nature. Like, I don't know a world where it would be different. Like, I don't think it should be different. I think, you know, you got to remember, they're helping you earn money. You know, you are earning money off the back of their good work. So why aren't you sharing? You know, because they get paid their normal wage, but they're doing, you know, if you want their best, give them your best. And if it's sending donuts, do it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's such good advice. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, James, when the finance reps come in all the time, and our main finance rep, Theo, he's the only one who ever brought in a box of Quality Street. And he always brings...
I bet he gets all your business.
Yeah, and he got our business, and then we've got this like cracking relationship. So, Marianai, do that today. Fine. Have you got a mechanic at the minute that you use and you enjoy using?
Yes, I have a garage near home. He tried to fit in my cars, and he knows. So he's looking one Honda Civic I bought, which is a little joy. He's looking at today for me. And I have the other one coming on Wednesday. We are the young brothers who comes to my door, so they do it on my driveway. The service is coming to do forecast for me on Wednesday. But that is because I message him and I say, like, look, your communication is really poor. Can you just let me know if you want my business or not? Because if not, I have to look for someone else. Because I have to have more than one. Because one cannot do it the job, I have to run to the other one and see, can you do this for me?
I bet if he knew when he was coming round and there was going to be some food at lunchtime, I bet he'd turn up on time and he'd factor that lunchtime into his life. Guarantee it.
Yeah. You do. And I was talking to my husband yesterday about this. Let's get some cards and some chocolates and biscuits for Christmas to give to them, but be careful with the bribery.
No, it's not dead.
Yeah.
So legally, anything below, I think it's either £30 or £35, is not classed as corruption or bribery. This is from the finance sector, but Rob from Cubic Cars is probably the one to let us know the real laws of corruption and bribery.
Is that true, James? Honestly?
Yeah, so the finance rep, so like if we give them something over the value of £35, they've got to declare it on their income. I could be wrong, and this was a little while ago, so we had to do it on some financial training. They were like, yeah, that's part of corruption and bribery. So that's why a lot of stuff is below that. Like giving them a bottle of like gin or something like that is fine, but if you give them, you know, a £200 bottle of whiskey, they'd have to declare it on their income.
Oh, that's great. That's brilliant.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. So, Marianne, what's your next challenge then?
Is find a space where I can park everything. Because at the moment, like my house is in the middle in Walton. Then I have Hingham, which is about 10 miles. It's 10 minutes drive, which is my office. Then I have my storage place, which is a real storage. I park all my cars in there, and some of my driveway, which is in Chippenham. So they are like a bit difficult to move around. So if I could find a space to park them all together and have a reliable garages and get my website sorted, I think I'm going for success in 2025. So these are the biggest really. And then it's just trying to buy cars worth a little bit more because at the moment, as I said, I'm self-funding and I don't have finance. I don't have any of this to offer. So the customer has to have the cash. So what do you think a customer is prepared to buy in cash? What the amount? Like if I go over 10,000, that is difficult, or below 10,000 is okay? Or do you think it's any value?
If you're just retailing cars, like advertising cars as retail, I mean, we sell cars up to 40 grand. And this month we've done, and last month we maybe done one finance application. So I think this is what I was the same when I first started trading. I thought, oh God, if I sell cars more than 5 grand, I need to have an FCA license. You don't even worry about that for now. Just the main thing you need to worry about is just selling the cars, turning them over, and all that will come at a later date when you get bigger. That's when you need to start worrying about finance. Just take that out of your head and don't even think about it.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good. Thank you.
'cause I noticed that you're based in Hingham. Is that right?
The office. I am in Walton, so people come to my house to see the cars. But now because it's winter, I open the office, and I want to bring them to Hingham instead, so they can come up in the office when I close the sale, so they can do tax and insurance.
So I'm just looking. I'm trying to
payments.
find. I'm just browsing through like Rightmove and some of the commercial places. There's stuff out there, and like I said, it might be. And there's quite a few. Obviously, Norwich is full of farms, so I think you are in the hot zone for going around and approaching a farmer. Okay, and I know there's some people that say that they wouldn't buy the car out of the back of a barn or off a farmer's land. 90% will. All right, and they'll come there and they'll be like, as long as it's presented in an acceptable place and the office isn't freezing and it doesn't look like a hen coop, I think you'll be absolutely fine, and you'll have loads of space, and it's cheap. I think from our Dave's plan of going around harassing farmers, like you are in the hot spot for British farming land. Just go around and just don't be afraid
These
to pull up the
farmers as well,
driveway.
they're not used to seeing women as well. So put a nice outfit on, do your hair. They'll be like,
Yeah.
knife through
Yeah.
a window.
Yeah. So, and like I said, if you're just polite and courteous, like just say, look, this is my plan. I'd love to do it, and this is how much I'm going to pay you. If you just say to him, right, £1,000 a month, I want space for 25, 30 cars. If you've got a little indoor area with a bit of water, ideal, happy days. I don't see why they would say no to you, especially with the economic crisis for them at the moment. Bearing in mind that they're driving their tractors into the centre of London to make a protest, and you're there offering them £1,000.
Exactly.
I don't see how you're going to have an issue, and that might be the difference between it. And yeah, like with reference to the website as well, like obviously, maybe might be worth getting one of the little pocket landlines as well. So when it rings a landline, it comes through to the mobile anyway. If you went and got on a farmer's land, you can have one of the MiFi units, so you'll be able to get internet there, no problem now. So power and water is really all you need. I think you're passionate about it enough to make it go, but I would just focus on those things that make you visible to the world, because at the moment you're not visible. And I think the mechanic thing, just going around and seeing the people and just accepting that's what that is. I think that'll do you fine. And I think in no time, I think you'll be there. And now would be a really good time for you to do it as well, just before they're about to wrap up with Christmas, because you'll be in their mind, and then go into January and be like, do you know what? She was really nice to me just before Christmas. I'm gonna help her out in January, because January will be difficult for you to get the car through the garage, because you have that horrible Christmas break where nobody does really anything, and then you start up again in January and the garage is all busy. But if you've gone to them before and said, look, can I have a couple of slots in your garage in January, like first week of January? Like, I'd really appreciate that. You know, here's some donuts. This is my name. This is what I do. You know, they won't forget it. People won't forget that. That'll be the highlight of their day. Be like, oh, so-and-so, never heard of her before, but she brought in donuts. Oh, what's her name? What's her website? Oh, yeah, she seems like a nice person.
The other thing, James, is like, they're going to be saying, oh my God, there's this woman and she's a car dealer, and they're not used to having ladies come in saying that the car dealer's like, this is going to be your superpower. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is what is going to help you go to the next level.
Yeah, you'd get a much better result than I would. You know,
if
I try my best.
Walking, it's just like, oh, another one of these car dealers, another one of these dodgy car dealers. You know, they see us coming, but you walking in, I think it's going to be really easy for you.
I agree with Dave. I think you should yank on that chain, like, enjoy it, because, like, obviously there's some points where it does go against you, but the points where it doesn't go against you, jump on the train, enjoy it, get the best you can out of that situation.
Yeah. Now, if you found a unit in a farm and they said, oh, it's £1,000 a month, would you be scared to take it on, or would you be up for the £1,000?
Yes, come on.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see the journey. I feel like obviously we've given you a lot of information, and like you didn't even think, you were like, bang, let's have some of that. Like, that's what we want to see.
Because most people aren't, James. Most people are like, oh my God, they give themselves analysis paralysis. They go £1,000 for the rent. They go, Auto Trader's going to be this, that, and then they talk themselves out of it. So the hardest thing to do is to get the space. Once you get that space, and it's cheap enough, you know, £1,000, that's what you want to be trying. I know Martin, who was on the podcast, he pays £1,000, and I think you can get 20-25 cars in there, plus stuff on the outside. Once you've got that space and it's like £1,000 a month, you're at the races, aren't you, James?
Straight at the race, and sky's the limit, you know. And like that first year, like, I get butterflies thinking about it. That there is no greater feeling that first year when you get your space, you get your keys, and you go in there and you've got maybe 5 cars, and then before you blink and you know it, and you've got 20 cars, and you can't stop patting yourself on the back, but nobody knows what you went through to get there, the risk versus the reward. You are the only person that congratulate yourself, and you seem to have the self-belief to do that, so never lose that. Okay, so that's another superpower that you seem to already have that we don't need to talk into you. So I'm really excited for you.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
James, when did you start car trading? What was your first year?
2009 properly. I got to a point. I bought a couple of cars from Marianai auction, and I had a old Land Rover Discovery in a car trailer, and it's a 110-mile round trip. So I had my son at the time, and I would take him with me, believe it or not. And he'd sleep all the way up and sleep all the way back, and I'd have him in a pram in the auctions there, and I'd buy 1 or 2 cars at a time. And then sometimes I'd drive up there twice in a day. So what are we talking? So 8 hours. Well, yeah, 8 hours of driving twice a day, and he was good as gold because he was a baby. And then all of a sudden I had 11 cars at home, and I was just like, oh my God, like, I need to do something about this. And back then it was the days when you could do cash for fun. You know, you could get away with a little cheeky unit somewhere. And I met this extremely, he's still around now, he's still a land agent now. He was very much, you help me out, I'll help you out, let's have some cash. And I went into this 3,000 square foot unit, and it was enormous. And I had 5 cars in there at that time, because I'd popped some off for a prep and stuff like that. And I sort of like fanned them out to make it look like it was like it filled the unit. It didn't. It looked embarrassing. It was awful. But at the same time, I was like, do you know what? This is just a big box of potential. And then 7 months later, it was full. I looked at it after those 7 months, and I was just like, I don't know how I did it, but you just got to stick to the plan, believe that you can do it. And I think that's 90% of it. If you believe that you can do it, no matter what comes at you, you're going to have some horror stories. You're going to have some warranty problems. You're going to have some dealing with some mechanics. If you're ever going to have to put a hard face on, it probably won't be for a customer. It'll be for a mechanic, because they can be absolute cockwombles. They are so difficult when they want to be. And they're like, oh, I didn't quite get a chance to get to that. They're a fucking liar. They did. They just overlooked it for something else. These things happen. And then, like you said, in a minute, you're going to be where you need to be, and you're going to be delighted. And I think you'll do it. I genuinely believe that you will listen to some of the stuff that we've given it, put your own spin on it, which you should always do, and you're going to get to where you need to go with that sort of attitude. So, and I'd like to keep in touch with the progress, please, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely.
sure.
This time next year, we want to know how many cars you've got, where you're at. We want to see a decent website,
Yeah.
Facebook presence, all that. Don't worry about finance. Take that out of your head, and just remember, people buy from people.
I'd say about sub £7,500, Dave. If I was just thinking about that other subject that you said, if you're not doing finance, 7,500, I think, is the bank's cherry limit for a personal loan. I think that's pretty much where it roughly tops out. It might be between 7.5 and 10, but I think if you're going to get people that are buying a second-hand car that's 5-6 years old, around £7,000, that's probably where you want to top it off with no finance. That's what I would suggest, and that's what I've got from my experience. But I'm not saying it's correct, and it might be different for your demographic. But from my experience, that's what I would probably top it off at 7.5.
Guys, just a quick question. I just remember while you're talking. How do you get reviews from customers? Because I sold quite a few cars. I have got no reviews. And to be honest, I'm quite scared
You need a Google
what
account.
I'm going to get as a review.
You need to set up a Google business.
Yeah. Do you need your Google business account?
When you're selling, you prompted them, can you leave us a review or something like that?
You can do it on your phone. You just press a link. It goes there. You can get a QR code that you can send to customers. It's dead easy. And like James is saying, you need to get your business on Google, because that's when you can. And you I mean, what do you think about reviews then, James? Do you think they are the most important thing for your business, or have you got a different take on it?
Yes and no. Obviously, it is a fair representation. I always look at places that got 5-star reviews, and I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. Or you're not selling enough cars, or I don't know why. I might just be a cynic, but I think it's a fair representation of you as a company. On a longevity perspective, you're gonna get people that will leave you a 1-star review because their journey didn't go how it was supposed to go, and it's nothing to do with you, and it's not your fault. Bracing yourself for that is something that you must do. You need to be ready for your first bad Google review, because the first time it happens, it's really painful. It's like having a breakup.
It's like a pang in your stomach, isn't it? It's like someone kicks you in the stomach. It's awful.
Yeah, and then eventually you'll get tougher and tougher, and you'll figure out. You always got to reply to it, even if it's something horrible, personal attack, whatever. Always reply to it and say thank you for taking the time to review us on Google. We're just trying to do the best that we can, which is true. And I believe that would be the case from you. And it doesn't always go to plan, and that's a fact. And if they want to leave you a 1-star Google review about how you reacted to them, that's entirely up to them. But you need to have it on the internet to show all the good work that you're doing, as well as the not so good work.
And also to show as well, when you get a 1-star review, what your reaction is to that review. It can go on you, because if you look at all our 1-star reviews, they've actually went in our favour. Because when we've actually explained what happened with that customer, it actually makes the customer look worse than, bad, and making us look good. So yeah, do not be scared of getting reviews at all. Not at all. I think James is it on something there. What's more important is that for us, our business on Google, I think it's been running for 10 years. That fills people with more confidence. Oh, look at these. They've been doing this for years. That's worth more than having a five out of five. I remember one trader, he got a 1-star review, and he was considering closing down his business and starting again, which is just ridiculous.
It's not abnormal. It's not abnormal. You get loads of them. They do it.
But nothing's perfect in life. As well with your car trading, you know, if you're trying to do perfection, you're just going to end up making yourself miserable as well. Like, prepping a car will take you. I know at the minute you're probably prepping it. This is what all new traders do. The prep standard's too high. So, but you'll find that as you go along, you'll find a prep standard for you that will work.
Yeah. Well, again, for me, I've had some cars in the past where I don't know, like sometimes, you know, you test drive a car, Dave, and like it just doesn't quite feel right. It's just past the MOT. It's been serviced. Everything's not quite right on it. You couldn't put your finger on it. No engine warning lights, no nothing. And you're like, oh, I don't know, that car doesn't quite feel right. And you lick the stamp and you send it, and you never see it again. But you get a car in that has, what's the best way of explaining it? You get a car in that feels absolutely perfect. Like, it's the best car you've ever had in. I've sent it out, and it's come back 2 weeks later, and you're sat there like, no, that shouldn't have come back. That absolutely shouldn't have happened. And I don't get it. So you'll never really know. You'll never really know.
Yeah. Expect the unexpected. What mantra do you live by, James?
Mantra?
Yeah, mine is actually what you said. My main thing is just God loves a trier. As long as you keep trying, eventually one day you'll crack the code.
I don't know. For me, I would probably say that I want everyone to feel. I don't want to be necessarily liked by everybody, because that's impossible. But I want to feel that I've made a positive impact on everybody that I work with, which therefore translates to whatever my customers receive. So if I look after all my team, I genuinely believe that my team will look after my customers. Because I've got to a stage now where I'm not that great with customers anymore, because I do take a lot of things really personally at work. And I've been caught out by some con artists over the years, and I've had some really awful customers that have done some really awful things to staff, and they've sort of come after me a little bit. So I'm a little bit weathered when it comes to that. So I've taken a massive step for a long time away from customers. So I focus all my good energy into my guys so they can send that out to the customers. So that's my mantra for me. But at the beginning, I was as hungry as you were, and I loved it. I just loved giving these people just something. I felt like I was becoming part of their life. You know, like everybody's got a journey, and when you sell somebody a car, you're piecing together some freedom and part of their journey, and it is really, really rewarding when you get it right. So yeah, God absolutely loves a trier. I'm 100% with you there, Dave. But I haven't got my own mantra. I'll try and come up with one.
Sure, be one you can frame, definitely. I'd have it.
I think it's a northerner thing. If you say God loves a trier in Northern, it sounds way better than from down in Plymouth. So I feel like I need a Plymothian one, at least.
Honestly, I've lived by that. I really have. So, but anyway, is there anything else you want to ask then, Marianai?
No, I think I learned a lot today. I have a lot to do. Let's crack on, and we catch up later and see how it goes.
Well, maybe if we catch up in 6 months, just to see what's what. I'd really love to hear your story. So it's and you started at a really nice place for us. I think you've got us involved at a really nice time for you. So hopefully, if we can give you one tiny piece that helps your journey, our work here is done.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I love it.
Just again, where can people find you? Give us your website, your Facebook, all that.
It's the MSH Cars UK.com. I'm here in Walton. My office in Hingham, but God knows where I'll be in 2025 when I find a place.
Brilliant. All right. Well, yeah, been lovely having you on, and good luck with everything. And take care.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.